Hello everyone. Tonight we're going to be doing a sort of experimental thing for what was supposed to be the second, but it's actually going to be the first stream of the anniversary week this year. I've made a cube by basically just taking all of the draft decks from previous draft streams, adding in the rest of every cycle that was present to help balance the colors, keeping it mostly singleton with some exceptions, because like I threw in 3 copies of Say Its Name. And then for like general spice, as well as further balancing of the colors, I also added in a bunch of random cards from the spice editions were handpicked, for just getting the colors to all be the same count, I basically simulated a bunch of packs of Zendikar, Innistrad, and Return to Ravnica block, as well as Magic 2010. And I also even, for specifically blue and I think some of black, I even threw in the cards that would have been in my very first intro deck from back in like 2010. Because fortunately, because I remembered some of the cards that were in there, I was able to find the exact deck list. So since this is not on Arena, we've got CPU opponents. So let's just get into it. Except this is not the correct... I need to click this button. And figure out where... There we go. I had to also figure out how to add a cube to this program. Alright, so we've got 2. Let's see if I can get... card catalog somewhere that's not covered over by Stream Overlay. Right, there we go. We've got Withering Curse. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Infusion. If you gained life this turn, destroy all creatures instead. Ashling Flame Dancer. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, discard it or a card, then draw a card. Or if this is the second time this ability is resolved this turn, Ashling Flame Dancer deals 2 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. If it's the third time, name add 4 red. We've got Hallowed Fountain, Dungeon Geist when it enters, flying when it enters. There's tap target creature opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Dungeon Geist. Great Train Heist. These a spree, you can have untapable creatures you control. It'll give you an additional combat phase. These after this phase, you can also give creatures you control +1/+1 first strike, or choose target opponent whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to that player this turn. Create a tapped treasure token, depending on how much and what kind of mana you put into it. Moira, a trash tactician. Legendary Raccoon. At the beginning of her first main phase, add red or green for each raccoon you control. Whenever you expend 4, you gain 3 life. Whenever you expend 8, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your turn, you may play those cards. Admittedly, I don't know how relevant. Well, I believe it did include some changelings, which will help with the type-based synergies from stuff like Bloomburrow. Reiterating Bolt. Replicate it, pay 3 energy. Reiterating Bolt deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Tolls of War. When this enchantment enters, create a clue token. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent during your turn, create a 1/1 unwhite ally creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Wandertail Mentor. Whenever you expend 4, put +1/+1 counter on Wandertail Mentor. And tap, add red or green. Pelagi, the Archaeologist. When the Archaeologist enters, mill 3 cards. You may put a non-creature, non-land card from among the cards milled this way into your hand. If you don't, put a +1/+1 counter on the Archaeologist. Adventurous Eater. This creature enters prepared. Here with a prepared spell, have a bite. Put +1/+1 counter on target creature. You gain 1 life. Breathe Your Last. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Gain 1 life for each of its colors. Overzealous Muscle. Whenever you commit a crime during your turn, Overzealous Muscle gains indestructible until end of turn. Temur Tawnyback. When this creature enters, draw a card, then discard a card. And Windscarred Crag, the classic. Enters tapped. You gain 1 life when it enters. Add red or white. I think I'm gonna go for Ashling. Now we have Sita Varma, the Masked Racer. Exhaust X green blue. X +1/+1 counters on Sita Varma. Then you may have the base power and toughness of each other creature you control become equal to Sita Varma's power until end of turn. Junk Diver. Flying. When Junk Diver dies, return target the artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Fester Leech. Whenever Fester Leech deals combat damage to a player, you mill 2 cards. Fester Leech gets plus, and you can pay 1 and a black to give +2/+2 until end of turn. Squawk Roaster. Double Strike. Vivid. Squawk Roaster's power is equal to the number of colors among permanents you control. No More Lies. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its own graveyard. Legion Leadership. Until end of turn, target creature... Double target creature's power and it gains first strike. Make your own luck. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may exile a non-land card from among them. If you do, it becomes plotted. Put the rest on this into your hand. You may cast as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost. Embodiment of Spring. Pay 1 and a green to tap and sacrifice it to search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Desert's Dew. Target creature gets -2 until end of turn. If it gets an additional -1/-1 until end of turn for each desert you control. I don't think I included any desert, so that might be stuck on just -2/-2. Merchant of Many Hats can be returned to the field by paying 2 and a black. Well, it returns to your hand. I'm gonna just go for this other elemental. So currently I'm pretty much entirely in red, although don't necessarily have to stick with that. Alright, so in red we've got Ruinous Gremlin. 2 in red, sacrifice Ruinous Gremlin, destroy target artifact. As well as in 2 colors, we've got Swiftblade Vindicator, Double Strike, Vigilance, and Trample. And Invert Polarity. Choose target spell, then flip a coin. If you win the flip, gain control of that spell. Well, then you may choose new targets for it. If you lose the flip, counter that spell. Yeah, sure, I'll take that. So now we've got Mesmeric Orb, Alania, Divergent Storm. Whenever you cast a spell, if it's the first instant spell, the first sorcery spell, or the first otter spell, other than Alania you've cast this turn, you may have target opponent draw a card. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. You know, take a Kindle the Inner Flame, since that works with elementals as well. Well, mostly it just specifically works with Ashling because it's a sorcery. So, Ariette, Head of the Charmed Apple, Kudo, King of Bears. Here's Quest for the Necropolis, Honor Dray Leader, Insidious Roots. Alright, so if I want to stay in red and blue, I've got 3 options. admittedly, I put Invert Polarity and Ashling in the same deck, then I'm doubling up on different colors of double pips, so maybe I should look at a different color to pair with here with red. Maybe I'll take the Surveyor. Yeah, and an Impossible Inferno. And here's one of the cards I threw in for spice. Good old Electrostatic Pummeler. Okay, could dip into white with this Conduit Goblin. Or I could do all three with this New Way Forward. The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. When damage is prevented this way, New Way Forward deals that much damage to that source's controller, and you draw that many cards. Whirler Virtuoso would also kind of pair with the Conduit Goblin. With energy as well as Aether Chaser. But yeah, I'm gonna go for Karizev. Alright, so it looks like none of the CPU opponents are going for raccoons. I'm just gonna take the Archaeologist from this. Squawk Roaster and you know what? Since I'm going to be playing instants and sorceries used for Ashling, I'm probably going to be committing a lot of crimes. So I'll take this Omenport Vigilante. Take the Alania. So I could do red-white or red-blue. Or I could go full on Jeskai. Take the Cliffs. I believe this one was also a spice inclusion because, you know, like, I don't think I've ever drafted one, so I don't think I have anything that makes artifacts particularly, so and there's no instants or sorceries here. They're in my colors. Because I think I'm probably sticking with at least mostly is it. Although the Sage of the Inward Eye does have an ability that triggers off of non-creature spells, when in fact, because Lifelink does not care about being combat damage, it actually pairs pretty well with Ashling. Omens are probably pretty good for this because it's an opportunity for a repeatable, well, instant or sorcery. Right, there's one of those changelings. Flash, flying. When this creature enters, return up to one other or target creature you control to its owner's hand. It could be useful. Technically also an otter because it's a changeling. I don't have any caves currently. I could go for the steam vents just for the mana fixing. I think... yeah, I think I will go for the steam vents. Enraged Flamecaster. Whenever you cast a spell with mana 4 or greater, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent. There's also Harnesser of Storms. Whenever you cast a non-creature or otter spell, you may exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Yeah, that seems useful. Let's take this fledgling dragon. Goblin Slide triggers off of non-creature spells. Scatter Raise an instant. Just take the elemental. Take the one card that's in my colors. Take the sorcery. Cyclops Superconductor. Prowess. When Cyclops Superconductor enters, you get 3 energy. When it dies, you may pay 3 energy. When you do, Cyclops Superconductor deals damage equal to its power to any target. Here, I'll take the Mechan as well. Ooh. Alania requires me to let an opponent draw cards in order to use her ability. I'll take the Needlehead. Oh, interesting. Wait, no, this is a different Ashling, that's why. Like, that is not it being weird about it. But yeah, I might as well take the Sunderflock. In the Mysterized Village. I mean, granted, I might... in fact, I probably won't play the Sunderflock just to keep my total number of just so that I can keep my double pips to just one color. Ooh, this will cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Target opponent exiles the top 3 cards of their library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. If you can't cast a spell this way, mana of any type can be spent to cast it. It's an expensive card for cards that care about expensive cards, like Enraged Flamecaster. Okay, there is some weirdness going on with the way that the packs are being simulated, I think. Because we already had Tolls of War, Merchant of Many Hats, and Enraged Flamecaster before. And Vial Smasher. Yeah, sure, I'll take Prismari the Inspiration. And Twin Flame Travelers. And Explosive Derailment. Huh. So, it's not visible, well, on stream, but, the game just broke. Okay, well, let's just get an extra window capture. Yeah, game's broken. Game is broken in such a way that I cannot actually do your game is broken such that I can't edit my draft deck. So that's cool. Well, so much for that, I guess. Oh, cool. Game is extra broken to the point that I can't even close it properly. It just throws an error when I click anything. Guess I can, manually shut it down and see if relaunching it fixes anything. Because otherwise we're gonna have to do something else, because this just doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Now it feels like working. I don't know why it previously didn't, but now it's working, so we can continue as originally planned. And that's 15 cards, so I need a bit more. I need 8 more, or to be exact. Yes, so I'm splashing white for Sage of the Inward Eye and Riling Dawnbreaker. We'll just throw in like 3 planes. And we'll just see how that configuration of lands plays, I guess. And hopefully it won't throw any more errors. Alright, so I'm going second. I've got a decently keepable hand, so... Turn 1 Swiftwater. Currently against, so far, mono white. Right, Mountain. And play Karizev, who immediately dies. Is that a Glitch Ghost Surveyor? It's a white, 8 blue. Take that to get some extra treasure. I'm now at speed 2 because this says start your rations. Go ahead and kill their flyer. Swing 4 in the air. Just get an extra soldier. I don't have threshold, so I can't use the fire breathing at all. But now I can get another fledgling dragon. Hitting for the turn. Just throw out Prismari the inspiration. The turn before I win. Well, not even the turn, but right on the turn that I won. Unlike the main phase before I won. got Thoracle, but I don't think the computer opponent really knows how to properly strategize with that. So, you know, judging by how it was the first thing that they played. Right, Island and play Harnesser of Storms. So I can play my Glitch Ghost Surveyor this turn, but I really shouldn't have gone through with that ability because no way I would have the mana. I don't know why it said search your graveyard in exile, because this doesn't exile anything. Yeah, I'm not going to exile the top card of my library because I would only be able to cast it for that turn. Two damage to my opponent's face. Not going to exile the top card of my library, but I will allow my opponent to draw an extra card so that I can and get a second Impossible Inferno. And now my Flamekin and Guildweaver is dead. And Alania's not doing anything anymore because she's become a legitimate business person. My Sage of the Inward Eye is trapped in the moon. I'll just play a Kulrath Mystic to and there goes my Enraged Flamecaster. But now I've got Ashling. Right, Mistrise Village. I'll just play a Blood-Soaked Insight. Discard or Goblin Slide. Oh yeah, because that's because that's Harnesser of Storm's ability, not Alania. As Alania doesn't have her abilities anymore. I'm just gonna pass. Play a Needlehead. And a Twin Flame Traveler, so now all of my elemental abilities trigger twice. Except no they don't, because I immediately lost the Twin Flame Travelers as well. So I lunge, practice Clue Token, and get basically nothing for it. Sadly, there's no artifacts I would benefit from destroying, so... Oh, of course I draw planes after discarding one of my... discarding my only remaining use for a planes. And I'm one short from being able to play a Prismari. The Prismari's just gone. On the plus side, I can kind of just sit here for 7 turns, and I just win. Yeah, especially if my opponent is also drawing more cards. And I'll make a temporary copy of Alania, who's not a legitimate business person. Unfortunately, I didn't get any instants or sorceries. He's out of that. There goes Ashling. Interesting choice to not go for the Needlehead, since that's what's going to win me the game at this rate. Alright, on to round 2. That's a mulligan. Okay, now this is a somewhat capable hand, since at least it's got a low cost card in it. So get the Needlehead out as soon as possible. From here, I think it's mostly just gonna be a matter of racing as best as I can. Unfortunately, I don't think I can. I think I'm gonna be able to race quite well enough. Yeah, especially when I lose one of my creatures. Okay, I think this hand's gonna have to be good enough. Oh, I think this is just another loss. Yeah, especially when the first creature I got Alright, so I lost on round 2 of 7. And that's... And because of the way that the gauntlet draft mode works, that's just the end of the run. Seems like red and black might be a little strong. Yeah, I'm gonna be right back. Because despite having my AC cranked all the way up to 6 out of 10, I'm still feeling kind of warm and kind of sweaty, so I will be right back just to grab something to drink. And afterwards I'm going to decide, like, do I want to... Because Gauntlet mode will always be the... I guess what I could do is play multiple opponents, because that will probably be random. So I think let's do that when... Or I could do play singular opponent. Into 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But I'll decide on that when I get back from the BRB. Because it seems early to just call it quits. It's on this. It doesn't do something else. But I'm not sure if I feel like fully drafting the whole thing again. Alright, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move on to opponent number 3, because I think play all opponents is all opponents in order. But actually, one thing we can do to just check is... Okay, it would help if I was on the correct draft. Alright, so this is in black at the very least. Yeah, clearly... Then if I go up against opponent number 1... Blue. Yeah, blue and white, Furious for or Bear. So we move on to opponent number 3 because this is basically just gonna kind of be like showcasing the various decks that can be built. All in this cube. The problem is that my deck is just kind of ass, I think. Like, it worked well against that first opponent. Hasn't worked well for anything since. Mountain, Needlehead immediately dies. Okay, we're maybe getting somewhere. I think part of the problem is just a lot of the other decks have ended up being faster. Like I just put too many cards that are a bit too late game. And so I just lose. Because my deck can't go fast enough. Which is often not the greatest color in draft. So yeah, this is at the very least more of a tempo kind of deck. Oh, and it just clicked through too fast and now I have exiled a Glitch Ghost Surveyor that I cannot cast. Yeah, and there goes my Guild Weaver. Yeah, the problem with this being a tempo deck is that it's not very great at being a tempo deck, I don't think. I've got Prismari out, so... Yeah, and because Prismari is a big ol' 7/7, and opponent's not gonna attack into that. Well, CPU opponent, because I want to make it clear this is not any kind of like machine learning. It would probably behave a bit smarter if it was. That's when you get down to it. Well, I pretty much just lost. Yep. Let's see what my opponent number 4 is up to. Oh, another red deck. Another red-black deck, even. I don't even... I guess this must have been pick 1. Because I don't even remember seeing this guy. Yeah, and there goes Karizev, so I no longer have any creatures other than now my Glitch Ghost Surveyor. I'll just hold off on attacking. Got the Needlehead. Pretty much the best card in the entire deck, I think. Like, sure, I've got Prismari the Inspiration in there, but like, Prismari has yet to do anything. And I lose here because I can't block all of that. Alright, go ahead and get a 2/2 soldier token. Guess I could have gone on the attack with that. Yeah, no way am I winning this. Let's see what opponent number 5 picked up. Got the one desert. Got the like one desert in the entire cube. I just accidentally exiled a Swiftwater Cliffs. Yeah, so currently it's performing even worse than usual because I'm not even drawing an island. Well, I've got a Needlehead, so at least I'm dealing damage. I'll just play this as a land, so I get some extra mana. Alright, so this time I can actually do things a little bit. At least more than I was before. Swing my 6/4. That's... I can't cast Prismari yet. Again, thanks to the Needlehead, I keep dealing little bitty bits of damage. Hey, the Needlehead won me the one win that I've managed to get with this deck. So, and I just lose because I don't have enough to block all of that. And enough of it is going to get through. Let's see, opponent number 6. Playing white. In blue. And it's looking like a deck that's actually slow enough for me to actually win. In sorcery spells, you cast have Storm. So now I've got an extra 2 Flamekin Guildweavers. And I just win here. Mountain, Swiftwater Cliffs, Plains, Harnesser of Storms, Mountain, Squawk Roaster. Squawk Roaster immediately gets exiled, and I get hit for 60. Oh, I see. Fortunately, the computer opponent does not seem to understand how to properly strategize with Team Avatar. And decided to attack not with one singular creature, and thus did not get the actual effect of Team Avatar. What is making it for a Rogue's Passage? Well, now I've got Squawk Roaster back. And now the computer opponent is using Team Avatar correctly. And I just lose because I can't block the goddamn bighorn. And I didn't block it previously when it came in for like 10 damage. Mountain, Mystic, swing 1. Just swing with both of these since I'm not going to be able to block the Seed Shark regardless. And now all of my creatures have lifelink, so I can actually gain some life now. I'll play my Squawk Roaster. Swing forward Vigilance. There's actually an artifact to destroy this time. And go in for a big swing, and I win. So this Jeskai deck is at least better than, so far, all of the blue and white decks that have appeared. Alright, so we've got green, and we've got white. So, Selesnya. Possibly more than Selesnya. It could be Abzan. Since I only have tricolor cards for the wedges in this cube, so for once, the archaeologist actually found something. Yep. Go ahead and get the Harnesser of Storms out. Trade there. Mountain. Kill the Pack Beast. Accidentally exile Swiftwater Cliffs again. And because I keep clicking through the prompts too fast. That's rather than actually looking at what each one is doing. And I'll let my opponent draw an extra card so they can kill a second creature. And then swing in for 3 damage. Alright, that's a bit of a problem. Except I can just let my opponent draw a second card so that I can cast my 4 damage spell twice. Yeah, I've kind of run into a problem of I don't really have any more instants and sorceries. Well, I can play Goblin Slide. I sure exile Kindle Inner Flame, which is going to be pretty useful here. Since I can use it to go ahead and make some extra Flamekin and Guildweavers. Which give me mana, and this one has lifelink, so go ahead and swing with it just for the life gain. Play Kari Zev. Planes. At least I'm not being attacked currently. Prismari the Inspiration. Guac Roaster. Don't know why it's only a 2/2 instead of a... Oh! Everything is a baseline 2/2 because of Kudo. Oh, King Among Bears. So everything's a 2/2 bear. They're at baseline. Currently only got 2 elementals. I would need a third to be able to... Except because, I guess because of some interaction with layers. Oh, it's because it's +3/+3. It's not layers, it's just that it's just that that's a buff and not something that's its base power and toughness. Still on elemental, so Alright, I've got an elemental. So that means that I can flashback Kindle the Inner Flame. Beholding these three elementals. And so I get to do it again, which triggers Magecraft again. And so I just win because that deals 2 damage to my opponent, all of their creatures, and they were at 2. So I didn't even fully get to do all of what I was going to be able to do there. Because it was a little too strong for what my opponent had left. Well, I think this is probably the best hand I'm gonna get at this point. It's Mountain. Mountain. I have to take 3 damage because I've got no blockers. Yeah, I think I just lose on this one because I'm stuck on 3 mana. Mountain. Mysterized Village. Yeah, no Wingsmith. Flamekin Guildweaver. Plains. Sage of the Inward Eye. Hit that for a bunch of damage. Swing for 7 damage with lifelink. Rock Slide, kill that. Another 7 damage with lifelink. And I win. I believe that was opponent number 6. So now on to opponent number 7. Or maybe that was opponent number 7. Yeah, that was opponent number 7. Alright, so it's 2 a.m. I've been live for an hour and a half. We've seen all of the opponents in this run of Cube. I don't really feel like drafting again right away. You know, how about this? We switch over to some game show games. I will do a BRB, and we switch over to the game show games. I forgot to do the outro for this segment. So thank you to everyone who stopped by. You know, if you're not sticking around for game show games, or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you to everyone who stopped by. Next Magic stream, I think will probably be next Tuesday. Which is September 1st. There's continuing on with the Through the Ages thing that I started last Tuesday. And next stream in general is planned for tomorrow. Which, I mean, technically, like, yeah, this part of the outro is mostly just for people that are here live, because by the time this is up on YouTube, the stream will have already happened. Although the VOD would be up the next day. So either way, you know, Wednesday the 26th into Thursday the 27th and is planned for the Mind Days season finale. Alright, now we're switching over to the game show games.